Are we live yet?
Yep, we're live. Hey, everybody. This is Top Dog Shattuck, and joining us is SpeedOfSoundOfGravity. Link in the description. So, I got a video for showing Mudskippers.
Yep.
And show about how fish can be outside of the water, walking on land.
You see how his muscles are working together to form very, very limb-like motion. Even though I think the joints aren't quite all there yet, but it looks like the muscles are. So one wonders if the musculature developed first, and then the limbs and joints, the elbow joints and all that developed around that in the tetrapod limb development. But this guy is a real throwback, and he's not the cutest thing. But anyway, go ahead.
It also shows that life coming from the sea happened more than once.
Yep.
From the Tiktaalik, and there's more, and we have real life evidence right now.
Right.
Happened in Japan.
Which is
multiple species. Yeah.
Which is why we found footprints that preceded the Tiktaalik, because there wasn't just one branch that did this. So
yeah,
it's one of the creationist things is that we found footprints in mud that precede the Tiktaalik by 10 million years or something like that. But and I'm like, so what? But, okay, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Seen groups of behavior.
Oh. I thought there was more to it. Usually they show the eggs. I guess I clicked on the wrong video.
Chordata, Gobiforms, Oxyudirsidae. Oxyudirsidae is a subfamily, and I don't know anything about mudskippers. Let's see, what are they? Interesting abilities that they possess for being a fish that can survive both. They are a fish, or they call them it. I guess fish has kind of gone out of favor. Biologists don't like to call things fish anymore.
Yeah, because calling us fish doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything particularly. And it's just too fuzzy.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find out what they're related to or what their taxonomy is. They're pretty cool. Awesome. Yep.
So do you like anything else outside of evolution and biology and stuff?
Mathematics, programming, logic. My biggest, probably my main thing is philosophy of the mind, understanding consciousness and neuroscience. And then, as far as, do I have any other hobbies? Netflix. Amazon Prime, HBO. Don't have much else. Not much outside of that. Used to be into martial arts and weightlifting, but I'm a little older now, and I have let myself lapse a little bit. So I just love walking out in the woods, North Woods particularly, and collecting specimens for my microscope. But I'm kind of a sciencey nerd sort of person. Almost exclusively. If I'm going to do something that isn't watching really good series on TV, it's going to be about science, so of some kind.
So you were talking about the brain, and I got this video for Ode to the Brain from Symphony of Science by Melody Sheep. And here we go.
Sound is off.
Huh?
No sound yet.
Oh yeah, I muted it. Whoops. Keep forgetting I do that because I was play the video, then I didn't want it interrupting. Okay, here we go.
It's amazing to consider that I'm holding in my hands the place where someone once felt, thought, and loved. For centuries, scientists have been battling to understand what this unappealing object is all about.
Here is this massive jelly. You can hold
Tell
it with the palm of
the
your
names
hand.
of the
Can
scientists.
contemplate the
That's
vastness
V.S.
of the universe.
Ramachandran.
Contemplate the vastness.
Brain has evolved from the inside out. Its structure reflects all the stages through which it has passed.
Information in the form of energy streams in simultaneously through all of our sensory systems in the form of energy, and then it explodes into this enormous collage of what this present moment looks like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like. It explodes into this enormous collage. And in this moment, we are perfect, we are whole, and we are beautiful.
It appears rather gruesome, wrinkled like a walnut, and with the consistency of mushrooms, like a walnut.
What we know is included in cells called neurons, and there are something like 100 trillion neural connections. This intricate and marvelous network of neurons has been called an enchanted womb. An enchanted womb. The neurons store sounds to snatches of music. Whole orchestras play inside our heads. 20 million volumes worth of information is inside the heads of every one of us. The brain is a very big place in a very small space.
Information in the form of energy streams in simultaneously through all of our sensory systems in the form of energy, and then it explodes into this enormous collage of what this present moment looks like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like.
No longer at the mercy of the reptile brain, we can change ourselves. Think of the possibilities.
Think of your brain as a newspaper. Think of all the information it can store, but it doesn't take up too much room because it's full. Think of all the information it can store.
We see with the eyes, but we see with the brain as well. And seeing with the brain is often called imagination.
The brain can contemplate the vastness. The brain has evolved in successive stages.
And we are beautiful.
Think of all the information it can store.
And then it explodes into this enormous collage. And in this moment, we are perfect, we are whole, and we are beautiful.
It is the most mysterious part of the human body, and yet it dominates the way we live our adult lives. It is the brain.
Cool. So where did you get this video?
Melody Sheep on YouTube.
Okay.
It's a playlist called Symphony of Science.
Symphony of Science. So that Jill Bolt Taylor, she had a stroke, and she's a neuroscientist, so she got to subjectively experience what it's like to have a stroke and have her life significantly changed by the stroke. You know what she? Oh my God. My phone keeps ringing through my computer, and I don't know how to shut it off on the Mac. So anyway, and V.S. Ramachandran, I call him the Rama. Out of respect, he's an amazing neuroscientist. It's done a lot of really good work, particularly on understanding what the brain does through what happens when something goes wrong with the brain. So he's got a lot of interesting books. And have you ever held a brain?
No. Maybe, I was too young. Maybe I don't think so though.
Yeah, I went to the University of Minnesota. Had some workshops on neuroscience, and I was like a member of some library organization there. And they handed me the brain. You know, you put gloves on, and they hand you somebody's brain, and it feels like it's heavy. It feels, not really heavy, but it feels heavy, right? It's solid. And I'm sitting there and I'm holding it and I'm thinking, oh my God, if I drop this brain, I'm going to be dropping some human being's entire life, that's that's encoded somewhere in this little. And then later that year on Christmas, my friend who buys me weird gifts every year brought me this refrigerator container with a cow brain in it. So I got to dissect my first brain, and it was at once horrifying and very illuminating, because I'd seen nothing but diagrams of brains before and pictures of brains, and to actually start slicing one apart was quite an experience. It was amazing. It was to actually see what I'd been, visualizing in diagrams in real life was. All I can say is it was illuminating.
Was it anything like peeling an orange?
Oh God, no! It was like cheese, more like cheese. It was very odd. It had an odd consistency to it that I don't think it's something between Jell-O and cheese, and it was kind of disconcerting. And I've since lost my sense of smell for some reason, and it smelled bad, and it was hard to do because, it just didn't. I mean, it wasn't rotted. Just the smell of, the inside of a person's head is not a good smell. So
wasn't it like the formaldehyde or anything?
No, it was not preserved. It was not a preserved brain. So it was you had to keep it cold in a refrigerator. And I only had like a week to do whatever I wanted to do with it. But I sliced into the cortex, and I was able to find, like the hippocampus, which is just this like a little jelly roll around your ears, that where your cortex kind of folds around into a jelly roll. And it was an incredible experience, and I didn't get to do enough with it. So I want to do it again, or get a good supply of pig brains. I think I know a butcher that I could do it. When I get back into it, I'm going to do a little bit more work with that, a little more microscopy. But that was pretty cool. Cool video, though.
Yep. So you're the speed of sound of gravity. Did you want to see anything about gravity or anything? Sound?
No, actually, that my handle has been Speed of Sound since 2006, when I started getting active on forums in like Rational Skepticism and the Richard Dawkins forum. And I have 32,000 posts on Rational Skepticism, and they describe sort of the journey of my education in neuroscience and neurophilosophy. And I added the of gravity, because if you type Speed of Sound into YouTube, you're never going to find. So Speed of Sound of Gravity. And I just I just thought of that in like 5 minutes. I thought, what would be really like disconnected, like Speed of Sound. Yeah, something weird. What would take you off the ordinary path? And then you think, what is the speed of sound of gravity? What does that mean? So it's meaningless.
Doesn't work in reality, but
right, it's meaningless is what I'm saying. So
yeah, but I've been hearing ever so little bit that light speed might not be exactly the same speed as gravity, or
really,
like I don't know. It's like very small. It's like to very 0.00000 whatever degree, It's like it's confusing. I've been watching a lot of videos and stuff. They don't specifically say, maybe, I don't know. It's confusing.
Right. I found.
But they might have said. Oh yeah, watch a lot of what's his name, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
He's got this comedian that's with him now on Star Talk.
Is he doing a new series, Tyson?
It's just Star Talk is like a podcast more like, but then they do record themselves.
Okay.
They used to be like an audience or something, so now they have to be far away from each other. It's just doing it like this,
right?
Talking to each other.
I gotta check
So,
that. I saw Tyson live in Minneapolis at some big theater down there. It was pretty interesting.
uh-huh.
But there is a physicist that I should tell you about. I'll see if I can find her again.
Her.
Yeah, she is. She does music videos, and her music videos are pretty cool. She did the Monty Python show, and her name is Sabine something. Have you heard of her?
I don't know.
She is incredible, and she explains quantum mechanics and some other stuff in a simple way. And she does it like, what is locality, and she doesn't have this crazy these crazy interpretations. So she's pretty sensible, but she also does music videos, and she's a real physicist. I think she's involved with the Large Hadron Collider, and I will put her in live comments. Oh, I can't do links, can I? So I'll do private chat. Maybe you can link it for me.
Yeah.
But she is worth watching, because that is her music video, the Monty Python music thing. But if you go to her site, she has a great deal of stuff on Heisenberg uncertainty principle and all sorts of things that are very, very interesting. Sabrina Haasenfelder.
Yep, I'm watching it.
She has 80,000 subscribers, so apparently other people like her too. And I was quite surprised at her music videos, because they're really interesting lyrics, and she can sing, and then she has excellent physics content, so everybody should check her out. So pretty
This
interesting.
is the video that you sent me. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and put it on. It's
Oh, you want me to put it on?
Yeah, play it.
Okay.
We might hook a reader.
Here we go.
Is it sound?
Oh, I keep forgetting about the muting. Well, that's the work of a streamer, I guess. Streamer, I mean. Here we go.
Whenever life gets you down, Mrs. Brown, and things seem hard or tough, and people are stupid, obnoxious or daft, and you feel like you've had quite enough, just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour. It's orbiting at 90 miles a second, so it's reckoned the sun that is the source of all our power. The sun and you and me and all the stars that we can see are moving at 1,000,000 miles a day. In an outer spiral arm at 40,000 miles an hour, in a galaxy we call the Milky Way. Our galaxy itself contains 100 billion stars. It's 100,000 light years side to side. It bulges in the middle, 16,000 light years thick, but out by us it's just 3,000 light years wide. We're 30,000 light years from galactic central point. We go round every 200 million years. And our galaxy is only one of millions of billions in this amazing and expanding universe.
Just mostly just her standing in a green screen with stars.
So she studies quantum gravity, and she's got a number of popular. She became a pop sci writer and has a blog. And she has a bunch of YouTube videos.
Our universe itself keeps on expanding and expanding in all of the directions it can whiz. As fast as it can go, the speed of light, 12 million miles a minute and that's the fastest speed there is. So remember when you're feeling very small and insecure, how amazingly unlikely is your birth. And pray that there's intelligent life somewhere up in space, 'cause it's bugger all down here on Earth.
That good? That cool? So she is. She has quite a site. So and there's a lot to learn on her site. And I like the fact that so far she hasn't said anything weird about quantum in the mind or observation and all that bullshit. I'm sorry. This idea, that it requires a conscious mind, otherwise, things don't exist, is something I really do not like at all. I get one of the things I push back on. But I don't have another life to study physics, so I have to rely on people like her and Tyson and some others to explain it to people.
Well, Tyson is more astrophysics.
Yeah, he's astrophysics, so not quantum mechanics.
You can talk about it because you listen to other people, but it's just like us.
And then the most horrifying thing I ever saw is Roger Penrose, who I have the greatest respect for, when he hooked up with, what is his name? Stuart Hameroff. And they came up with this quantum theory of consciousness. And Penrose was out of his league. He doesn't know anything about neuroscience. Stuart Hameroff is I think it's Hameroff. I keep screwing his name up. I think he's like a doctor or anesthesiologist or something. He's also not a neuroscientist like Ramachandran. And they came up with this theory about quantum mechanics and microtubules, and it just doesn't hold water at all. And it became, of course, because it sounded like woo, it became very popular. And everybody, and Penrose, I mean, who doesn't respect Roger Penrose? It's just that he was outside of his field, and he was not making any sense. And he wrote a book called The Emperor's New Clothes, and nobody should read that book. It's garbage. On the other hand, Roger Penrose wrote some other books that everybody should read because he's an amazing physicist.
Ew. So you heard of quantum entanglement?
Yeah. It's interesting, and it doesn't impress me particularly one way or the other that things would be, that non-locality wouldn't work. And there's no reason why locality should have to be a thing, right? Why things can't. We don't know what the geometric structure of the universe is. It's most certainly is not 3D space and one-dimensional time. It's most certainly not that simple. So if it's more complex, you can see where locality is not a requirement at all. So I'm not impressed by weirdness.
Well, or dimensions are usually what we define them. It doesn't mean what reality is.
Right, but but how would we define a 10, 26 dimensional or an infinite dimensional universe? Mathematically, we would do it mathematically. It's how we would tear it apart. I mean, there's obviously something going on that hashes out as 3D space and one-dimensional time because we're living in it. That's our reality. And that isn't something that we just thought up in our brains. I mean, there's if you walk a certain distance in space, it always works. So there's something there beyond us and beyond the way we think about things. So there's definitely 4 dimensions at the bottom of it. But what I'm saying is that it's a lot more complicated. And when they finally come up with a theory of everything, or if they ever get close to that, it's going to be in a geometry that is unrecognizable to us. It's going to be in higher geometry. I like the idea of infinite dimensions folding one, all over the place. I don't know. But then I don't know much.
Well, I got this another music video for on mute this time for quantum mechanics, or it's called The Quantum World by Symphony, or by Melody Sheep. It's another Symphony of Science music video. Here we go.
So, what are we really made of?
Dig deep inside the atom, and you'll find tiny particles held together by invisible forces. Everything is made up of tiny packets of energy, born in cosmic furnaces.
The atoms that we're made of have negatively charged electrons whirling around a big, bulky nucleus.
The quantum theory offers a very different explanation of our world.
The universe is made of 12 particles of matter, 4 forces of nature.
I think we have more particles found out since this video.
The universe is made of 12 particles of matter, 4 forces of nature. That's a wonderful and significant story.
Suppose
Richmond
that
Feynman.
little things behave very differently than anything big. Nothing's really as it seems. It's so wonderfully different than anything big.
The world is a dynamic mess of jingling things.
It's hard to believe.
The quantum theory
It's so strange and bizarre. Even Einstein couldn't get his head around it.
In the quantum world, the world of particles, nothing is certain. It's a world of probabilities.
The quantum theory offers a very different explanation of our world.
The universe is made of 12 particles of matter, 4 forces of nature. The universe is made of 12 particles of matter, 4 forces of nature. That's a wonderful and significant story.
It's very hard to imagine all crazy things that things really are like.
Electrons act like waves. No, they don't exactly. They act like particles. No, they don't exactly.
We need a theory of everything, which is still just beyond our grasp. We need a theory of everything, perhaps the ultimate triumph of science.
The quantum theory offers a very different explanation of our world.
The universe is made of 12 particles of matter, 4 forces of nature. The universe is made of 12 particles of matter, 4 forces of nature. That's a wonderful and significant story.
I gotta stop somewhere. I'll leave you something to imagine.
Wow.
Yep.
So Richard Feynman died at the same age that I am right now, 69. His last words were, "I'd hate to die twice. It's so boring." That's pretty incredible.
So he was painless, or he was not in pain when he was dying then?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just boring. It would be boring. He had some sort of weird kidney or rare form of cancer that popped up. Lost him way too early.
Yeah.
But
let's see.
Oh my God, he'd be 102 today. So he was like the same age as my mother.
My parents just got to 60 this year.
Yeah. 60 was like the greatest birthday I ever had. I was so excited to be. When I turned 50, it was so depressing. But when I turned 60, all of a sudden I realized some things about life that I was dancing around all day. It was just amazing to be older. And I always feared it, and I always thought it was going to be like this horrible decline. And it turned out to be just the opposite. It's like an expansion that I'd never counted on. I just love being where I am,
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly don't want to go anywhere after I die. If I wake up in some crazy heaven or whatever, I am going to be so irritated. I'm going to write a letter to the editor, and I am going to rip them. It's like, I look forward to not existing at some point. So
more, the brain is just or our consciousness is more, to me, is like just how a computer runs, like all the programs and stuff.
Yeah.
And if the computer turns off, it doesn't go anywhere. It just turns off.
Well, it's like going to sleep at night. That's what it's like to be dead.
But
Or
you'd
it's
be
like,
having dreams, so the program's still running. You need to breathe. You need to have all those programs still running.
yeah, there's still something going on. But sometimes when you're in a
Just
deep
sleep out.
sleep, you're pretty close to what it's like. But the thing that's most like what it's like to be dead is what it was like before you were born. And that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. It's like death to me seems like a really good night's sleep, which I did not get last night.
But it'll be sleep that lasts for eternity.
Yeah, but it can't. But not really, because you can't experience.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so there is no, but so it's at once, like right now, like you'll always be in that moment forever, your last moment, but at the same time you will be in all of eternity forever. So there's like, when I hear them talk about heaven, sometimes I wonder if some really brilliant man didn't understand that when you die, you automatically blast into an eternity and exist in every moment there ever was or ever will be at the same time. Because like when you think about it, all the people that know you now in 300 years will all be dead, and probably nobody will remember any of us. You know what I mean? So there's no real connection. There's no social web to keep you alive. But then 1,000,000 years from now, it won't be any different than 300 years from now. And 1 billion and 1 trillion and hundreds of quintillion years from now will be identical to that last moment. So I think that's eternity. And that almost sounds like heaven to me. So,
but you're not experiencing anything. So it's.
Yeah, that's the cool part. That's why when you experience something, you are locked in time and space. But when you no longer experience, you're no longer locked anywhere. You aren't anything. You're a part of everything. And I don't know, it's just how I look at it or hash it out. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Another one?
One more, I guess, for the day.
Okay.
Then I have to go to sleep for work tonight.
Okay.
This one will be about the stars. The Secret of the Stars by Melody Sheep again.
Say, you like mystery stories? Well, we have one for you. The concept? Relativity. That strange, fantastic relationship between time, distance, and math. Before we're finished, I think you'll agree that truth is stranger than the strangest fiction.
Why do the stars shine? Why does the galaxy light up?
E equals mc squared. That is the engine that lights up the stars. Energy turns into mass. E equals mc squared. That is the secret of the stars. That is the secret of the stars.
Now listen carefully. The faster you move, the heavier you get. The energy of motion turns into m, your mass.
Energy of motion. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. An awful lot of energy for a tiny amount of mass. Light travels at the same speed, no matter how you look at it. No matter how I move relative to you, light travels at the same speed.
No matter who is doing the measurement, and no matter what direction you are moving, the speed of light is the same. The speed of light is the same, no matter what direction or how fast. As you travel faster, time slows down. Everything slows down.
Time slows down when your time passes at a different rate. Clocks run slow.
It's a monumental shift in how we see the world.
The beauty, the majesty, the power of the universe into a single equation.
E equals mc squared.
That is the engine that lights up the stars. Energy turns into mass.
E equals mc squared.
That is the secret of the stars.
It's a beautiful piece of science. It's a beautifully elegant theory. It's a beautiful piece of science. It's a beautiful piece of...
A planet like the Earth is kept in orbit because it follows curves in the spatial fabric caused by the sun's presence.
Space and time are bent by stars and planets. As things move through this curved space, they bend.
Now, all of this is illustration of the fact that time and space are linked together.
As you're moving through bent and curved space and time, you feel like you feel a force. As you're moving through bent and curved space and time, you feel like you feel a force. That force is gravity.
The beauty, the majesty, the power of the universe into a single equation.
E equals mc squared.
That is the engine that lights up the stars. Energy turns into mass.
E equals mc squared.
That is the secret of the stars. 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 That is the secret of the stars.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot more from the playlist. Oops.
Yeah. Is that the playlist that you posted on a couple of live chats?
Yep.
Yep.
It's the last one on the list on the comment. When I put it in the comments of the other people's.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Excellent.
I'll put it in this comment.
Yeah, you mind
chat,
if
and comment, I guess.
Do you mind if I download this and put it on my channel too?
Download what?
This video, this live video of yours.
Doesn't bother me.
Okay. We will share it because I think it's pretty cool. Some cool. It's a really interesting way to stimulate some thought. Those videos, those music videos, and they're well done. So
they're really old now.
Are they really? Okay.
He's barely making anymore.
Yeah.
Like once a year. And he did stuff for PBS too. Mr. Rogers and stuff. Huh?
And you put a link in your description for that stuff too? Or
that's not science stuff. That was just the stuff that PBS. He's not on his channel. I don't think they did. It was
there was no
another channel that he was paid or something for PBS. Okay. I was just saying he did other things. I think he even did like intro or something or trailer to an actual TV show.
Okay. Wow.
I'll try to put in the description all the stuff.
Yeah.
That
so read about
posted it. Or shown.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Time for a nap.
Yep. I barely get any sleep usually every day. Relative to what I'm supposed to get, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sleep at different times.
This virus thing has just shattered my entire life schedule. That and being between contracts, and I'm getting crazier and crazier, especially last night. My God, up in the middle of the night, and I don't know, pretty weird. So, can we talk for a few minutes after you take us off live?
Okay. How do we do that?
I think you just end broadcast. Just hit end broadcast.
Okay.
And I think we stay on for a while.